So, I actually haven't even stopped the recording from the last video because I figured it would be a really short one, and it was. So, today we're going to talk about the Delta 2 from JoyTech and what we think about it. So, here we go. So the other day, I got one of those new Ego 1s. A lot of people don't know about the Ego 1, and I'm going to review it here very soon. Because when the first pull on it, the only words I could think of was "there's no fucking way." For the size of the device, it was the most amazing vape I think I'd ever had from something that small. Well, I was in local vape shop here the other day, and a guy came in. And he said he had tried the Atlantis and he didn't quite like it, which I got that upcoming too. Then he tried this, the Delta 2, and he felt like it was a little better than the Atlantis, and he was looking for something different. So I recommended the Sub-Tank. And I went to playing with this thing, and he actually sold me his to offset some of the cost of his Sub-Tank. And I've been playing with this thing for 4 or 5 days now. And what I realized is this atomizer is just an enlarged version of the atomizer that's in the Ego 1 with a half-ohm coil. And this has a half-ohm coil. It uses a larger coil than the Ego 1. Things I like about it. One, now I'm going to make my comparisons with the Sub-Tank because it is definitely better than the Atlantis. One thing I like about it over the Sub-Tank is it does have 2 air holes. With the ring at the bottom, you can just adjust it to suit your likings, whether you want to tighten it up, reduce it, because it's just a slit. It's just a slit, and that slit is adjustable to get air on both sides of the coil. I like that. I wish the Sub-Tank did that. One thing I like about this over the Atlantis is similar to the Sub-Tank. It gets it's a little richer vape. It's a little it's definitely a better cloud. It's better flavor. The flavor is not quite as good as the Sub-Tank, but with the airflow, the cloud is a little better. Really, my main bitch about it is the way you see the juice. You see there's just those 3 slits, and that is sufficient to see your juice level, and it is really pretty on a mechanical or on a regulated device. I think they could have done a better job of making those bigger so you could see the juice a little better. Let's have another vape. It can chuck. Good device. It really is a good atomizer. Now the coil, I'll go ahead and take it apart so you can see the coil. The coil is a dual coil, half-ohm coil, and it's got slits. It's got 3 slits for the air and for the juice to come in, and of course the resistance from the air is what kind of creates the internal vacuum to pull the juice up and vape it. It's a pretty substantial coil. It's a bigger coil than what's in the Ego 1. It's a bigger coil than what's in the Sub-Tank. But if you look kind of down on the inside, and I know you're not going to catch this, but down on the inside, it's built a lot like the Atlantis. To fill it, you just kind of go down down the sides. See where you might can see where the coil sits, and then there's some notches around the side where the juice goes in. Really easy to build because you screw a new coil in, so there is no building. I'm sure the coils are rebuildable, like I'm going to show a tutorial on how to rebuild a sub-tank coil. Holds a good bit of juice, I think about 4 mils of juice, don't know exactly. But I know I get, which I vape about 8 mils a day, and I can get about, I'll fill it up, I'll top it off one time during the day if I fill it up in the morning. So if you're not happy with the Atlantis, and I don't know, maybe the sub-tank is a little warm because it is a cooler vape than the sub-tank, this might be a good option for you. I think they're relatively new. I haven't seen a lot of stuff out there about it, and my camera stopped. So, as I was saying, or actually I may cut out before this, if you like the Atlantis, or the sub-tank, actually if you like the Atlantis, the Delta 2 is a better vape. It's a richer flavor, it's better airflow, and it's a little bit cooler vape. If you don't like the sub-tank, because it is a little warmer, it is a little tighter, and that's what causes the slightly richer flavor. If that is a little too warm, the airflow on this still definitely get a great flavor, but the airflow helps it be a bit cooler. A neat thing about it is, unlike the Atlantis and the sub-tank, is I can run this at 40 watts. And that makes a substantial difference. This is 40 watts. You can't do that with a sub-tank, because halfway through that pull you would have been hacking your lungs out. I don't know how much over 40 that it'll run. I don't even know what the recommended is, but I know it runs good at 40. Personally, 40 is too much heat for me, so I run it at 30. So it's kind of a, it's kind of a balance between what's kind of good about the Atlantis and what's good about the sub-tank. It's kind of right there in between. Price point's about the same. If they would just make the juice viewing a little easier, I think it would have been a more successful device. And my damn camera's out of focus. I think it could have been a little better device, only if the juice windows was a little bit bigger. So that's what I got. Support CASA, support your local vape shops. I vape, I vote. See you again next time.